Some women are simply born rich, confident, and naturally magnetic to their desires. Let's be clear, this podcast is not for them. However, if you're a soul-driven, visionary, or entrepreneurial woman who's been on a mission to learn how to create a better future bursting to come out of you, welcome to my world. I'm Jo Warwick, and this is Rich, Sexy, and Free. I've dedicated most of my career to helping women get to their core power and unlock the missing pieces for their own unique success. You may already know me as the author of The Big Book of Love. With 30 years experience in psychology, embodiment, manifesting, and energetics, we will be exploring together the keys to becoming rich, sexy, and free. So if this excites you, don't forget to like and subscribe on your favorite platform so you can stay up to date with the podcast. Hi, Jo Warwick here, and welcome to today's episode of Rich, Sexy, and Free. And it is just you and I. I love these intimate sessions. I love that we get to have these deeper conversations, and I get to do some reflecting. And I think that's a really beautiful thing at this time of year. Now, if you didn't know, if you haven't been following me on the Rich, Sexy, and Free social media platforms, I have currently been in Lisbon. Then I was at the beach. Then I was in London doing a modelling photo shoot. And now I am in Scotland. So it's been a busy couple of weeks. And it's been an intense few weeks. Now, as you know, in the last few episodes, I spoke about the loss of my dog, bless her. And with her passing, as I talked about in the episode, I think it was the seven lessons or 11 lessons that she has taught me about living. But the biggest thing is about this leaning in and saying yes to life. And being in Lisbon was a great example of turning up the dial. I talk about this a lot with my clients. The biggest phase once you've come out of drama karma and want to step into a rich, sexy, and free life is about turning up the dial. Turning up the intensity of life, not the intensity of work, but turning up the dial on play. Now, if you head over to my Instagram, you will find a live I did yesterday talking about the importance of play and variety. But today I want to talk about that intensity and what it does to us, because a lot of the times we can have a blockage around allowing life to be that good. The goodness that you dream of, the overflow, the not just abundance at the level that you maybe have thought it would be better if I had a bit more of that and a bit more of that, or maybe a bit more time, maybe a bit more space, maybe I got to go on holiday a little bit more. But actually got to have life at a wild level, like an insanely magical level where you get to feel really free. For me, going to Lisbon was like being squeezed in a really good way. It enabled me, because of the rawness of grief, without defenses, and to really step into an intensity of life, of colour, of people, of joy, of adventure, of city and beach, of loads of men, loads of women, lots of people being friendly and attracted to me and being attractive. Lots of amazing food. It was life on Technicolor. And from that situation, I was able to clear some of my own limiting baggage that had still been in the way. It wasn't drama karma. It wasn't trauma. It was just old beliefs, that defenses that I had before, which don't serve me anymore. I've done the work. I've done the inside work. It was like life was showing me that could I be the person that would match these things? It's like you were holding weight in the past and you've lost weight and somebody's saying, hey, you could wear this amazing dress or amazing outfit. And it's a size, I don't know, size 10, a size 8, whatever. But in your head, you're still thinking of yourself as somebody who's a size 14, a size 16, whatever. And it's saying, I'm not that anymore. So when we step into a new level of life, whether that is financially, are we still trying to live like somebody who earns, I don't know, 1,000, we're just going to pull numbers out of the air at this moment, but say you're used to being somebody who earns 2,000 a month. That was your norm for a really long time. But then you've done loads of work and life is matching the inner work, the mindset, the shifts, and it starts to show you that you have the potential to have life where you're somebody who earns 5,000 or 10,000, 20,000, 40,000 a month. And it's like, oh my God, can I truly have that? Can I believe it? Can I step into it? Can I lean into it? Can I say yes? And that's what we're talking about. But I'm also not saying it in the way that it's just about money. Of course, that's part of it, but it's about experience. That's what rich, sexy, and free is about. It's saying, I can have the deep, rich, opulent, juicy, death by chocolate kind of level, deliciousness, that it is succulent and rich, like deep red wine, that there is this luxuriousness to your life. And it gets to be that way because you're allowing it, so that you've done the work and you're allowed to receive. And that's often what comes up for a lot of the women that I work with nowadays, is this bit, as it has for me, every level, is that sometimes we have this fulcrum part that's blocking us from having it always, because maybe we've achieved some level of success, but it's come with a sacrifice, it's come with hard work, and we don't believe we get to have heaven on earth, living the full, rich life. And when you get to live that level, when you get to start turning up the dial your way, not the life that anybody else thinks, but the kind of life that you love, that you have to ease into it. You still have to climatize and enjoy it and be in new levels of it. But it's not with drama karma. We've talked a lot in the last few episodes, and there's been a lot about shadow work and deep work. It doesn't end, but it's not like that drama karma depth of healing, of grief. It is much more about debris that we're sort of clearing up, beliefs that get in the way, that say that we can have that next level without guilt. Because I truly do believe women have been so programmed to believe that if they have any form of excess, that they have to give it away, that they have to feed other people, that they have to serve everybody else, to be good, to be a good woman, to be nice, to be acceptable, that they have to give away their excess so that they're only ever allowed a certain amount. And sometimes that certain amount is a crumb. And at other points, they maybe worked really hard on themselves or done lots of work to get to a point of saying, well, it's okay, I get to have my cake, but I'm not allowed to eat it. Well, I'm a big fan of believing that women can have their cake and eat it, that they get to have it all, because that they learn to give from overflow, not they get to have excess and then be generous, because we actually, as women, become generous when we have more. But when we're giving from a program that says, oh, I just started to get enough, oh, I have to give it away now. Or I've just started to get some money. Oh my God, I better give it away. So when we have these beliefs and ideas about our energy and our money, that we get to a certain amount, we have to give it all away, that's when we start attracting family who want to take from us. They want something from us. They ask something from us. They demand something from us. They guilt trip us into something. They do passive aggressive ways of being that suggest that you should pay for them, or that you should be taking care of them, or that you should be doing all these things because it's your job as a woman. And I would like to call big fat BS on that. It's such rubbish, and it's such an old program that's keeping women small, has been keeping women drained and depleted for a very long time, so that women don't step into their power. And this shift of you fully owning your heaven on earth and fully impacting those around you, so that you can have an incredible business, an incredible life of joy and enjoyment, of pleasure every day. But do you know what that actually looks like? I recently saw a post from someone I absolutely adore, and she was talking about the fact that she said, oh, I had a lie-in until 9 o'clock in the morning because that's the way I've created my life. And I thought, I never have an alarm. That for me was one of my main priorities in life, is that I don't have an alarm clock. I very rarely have to use an alarm. So this week I've had to use an alarm once because on Wednesday I went to a modeling photo shoot. And so I had to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and my body clock would definitely need an alarm clock for that. So, it's rare. For me, I listen to my body. I let my body do it. I allow that freedom. That for me is a priority. May not be a priority for someone else. And you may have more people reliant on you. At this phase in my life, I don't have anybody reliant on me at this second. And that is how I've chosen it. And that's how I want it at this moment in time. Of course, I have clients and I have family and I have friends and all of those things. But what I'm talking about at this moment is that I am stepping into a whole new embodiment of rich, sexy, and free. And my greatest joy is traveling. My greatest joy is being in flow. And so, for example, I have now set up my new Instagram channel, which I highly recommend coming to join me on. The Guilt-Free Traveler. You can come find me. It was actually based on a blog I used to have back in the day, and which was about my travels all over the world, which eventually became my second book, A Life More Traveled from Fear to Adventure. And I just love traveling. I love that whole experience. And so for me at this moment, coming and going and being in a fluid state is absolutely essential. And that looks like on a day-to-day for me would be not having an alarm clock. Now, for somebody else, you might want more structure. It's about what your pace, your passions, your essentials to live the life that you want. So it might be that you wake up and there's time for you to journal, and there's time for you to sit and really enjoy your coffee or your tea or your matcha or whatever. That there are certain things that you really enjoy. I absolutely love a hot chocolate. If I'm going to have a hot chocolate, I want to bask in it. Yeah. I do enjoy a coffee. And actually, when I was away, I had lots of espresso. But it's about those bits that kind of light you up and turn you on. And so creating and stepping into your own heaven on earth has a vision. And that is, it may be that it's rolling over in bed to the partner of your dreams or someone who feels like your best friend that you love and adore, and they look into your eyes, and it's all of that love affair. It might be that that's the way you want to start your day, with great sex. Yes, absolutely. I'm all for that. It may be that you want the flexibility of the way that you work. I work in the hours that I want to, the pace that I want to, in the creativity that I want to. I stopped seeing clients for a while. I'm now opening my doors again for mentorship. I work in a very high touch level. So my work with clients is very high value. So I have a select number. It's a small number, but I'm also playing. I opened the door to this week with some modeling. I went and I lent in to see if they would say yes. And I faced some fears. Would I be enough? They said yes. And now I've got a couple of people who, agencies who are after me. And I thought it'd be a bit of fun, something to do and a way to travel. It's about playing. It is about playing. It is about variety, but it's about turning up the dial to saying, I can have more of that. I can have more of what personally lights me up. There is a stage that's essential when you have to learn how to heal your nervous system, when you have to learn how to be grounded in your body, when you have to learn how to do your mindset. These stages are essential, but there comes a point when you have to turn up the dial, that you've done the work, you've been the person practicing to be on the football pitch, but eventually you have to play the game. And that's what I'm encouraging and speaking about, is really about, are you ready to step in 2025, to step in and play the game? The incredible guests we've had over, we've been going 4 months at this moment, and the incredible guests that we've had have all talked about stepping up to that next level in different ways, whether we've talked about human design, whether we've talked about on a very spiritual level, we've talked about a very practical level, we've talked about it from business sides, from money sides, from mindset sides. There's been a whole range of talking about that stepping in, stepping up, and what does it take? But it always comes down to this. Are you willing? Are you willing to take the next step in 2025 to truly allow life to become your heaven on earth, to evolve into that level? We're not going to say that it's an instant click, that, suddenly someone's going to wave a magic wand and you're suddenly going to have it all. Because the truth is, when it starts to come in, you're like, oh my God, there's so much abundance. Am I going to be overwhelmed by it? Can I handle it? The ridiculousness of that thought is will I be overwhelmed by joy? Will I be overwhelmed by happiness and love? But it's the same problem, is the fact that people don't allow money to flow because they have a fear that they'll be overwhelmed by having millions. What do I do with all that good stuff? Because we're so ingrained to believe that it's wrong and it's bad and it's guilty and all that, we can't handle it because we've kept ourselves on a kind of tight leash. We're not allowed to run around and be full of joy and happiness and love and experience. But the truth is, it's all we crave and it lights everybody up. We become naturally generous when we come from that state and not from our ego, when we allow it to be something that is, this is divine, this is right. And I truly believe that the world needs women like that. It is women like that stepping into the fullness of themselves who get to create, get to lead and be visionary by being it, not just inspiring, but leading the way. And I hope that I do that myself. I truly do believe in being authentic and that I live what I teach and I teach what I live. And I would say these stages have become very clear to me the further on I become. But this year, I set an intention. You would have heard me say this before. I set an intention at the beginning of this year, and it's hilarious. We're coming down to Christmas. I set an intention in January at the beginning of the year, and I said openly on social media, my intention is this is going to be the best fucking year of my life. Now, as you may have heard me talk about, it's been a bit of a ride. There's been a lot of loss. There's been a lot of changes. I've separated myself and untangled myself from things on internally and externally, from properties, from people and communities, and the loss of loved ones and my darling dog. And yet I have also expanded and grown and richly received new people who see me in a different way, love and affection and joy and playing. And I've never felt so strong, so happy all myself. And it's only going to get better. It's only going to get fucking better. And I'm stepping into things that I never imagined, that I had put on the back burner and thought maybe that's not possible anymore. So I'm inviting you to really think about what you want from 2025 as you reflect on your 2024. I already can tell you that coming into 2025 on this incredible podcast, we have some amazing things starting in January. Not only some incredible more VIP guests, I've also showcasing some amazing women who've come into my world, giving them a chance to bring their voice and their passion forward. But also some new voices. We're going to have some great conversations. This is something I just wanted to open the door to for a while. And the same as I will be stepping into more and more talking about my traveling on the Guilt-Free Traveler. And I'm just going to be playing more. And I will be leaning into the modeling and other ways of me traveling and sharing my insights, etc. And I know that there's some exciting things brewing for clients as well. So it's an exciting time, but it is about turning up the dial. Imagine how you feel when you turn up the heating in your house and how it can make you feel a bit. There's a point where it feels warm and then it can feel like, oh, it's too hot. It's too hot. And our job is to acclimatize to the warmth of a rich life. As you get used to it being warmer and warmer, you'll start to realize how cold your life used to be in the past. It may be how isolated you are, how separated you are. Because when things feel cold, it's because you are separated from love, you're separated from other people, you've distanced yourself, you've become isolated. And perhaps over this year, you've really been trying to step into allowing yourself to be more engaged with others. And that is the path. That is the way forward, to allow life through people, through nature, through animals. I'm currently sat here, I'm on the Scottish borders, in a gorgeous stone cottage. I've got a different view behind me. And I am in the middle of nowhere. And I have 3 enormously fluffy cats and a huge Labradoodle that I am taking care of. And it was something I said yes to that appeared, and it's so beautiful. My God, the views are breathtaking. The light is incredible. The sky was pure blue. And it's a total contrast to where I was in Lisbon, where it was warm. It's still sunny here, but it's cold and it's proper winter. It feels really lovely. There was frost on the floor and it's just really beautiful. And you've got all the rolling hills in the background. And yeah, it's just so beautiful. And it's being willing to have that difference. That's what it's really about. When you have turning up the dial and allowing that rich life, you're not looking for it to be perfect. You're looking for it to be a real buffet of color, of changes, of difference, of variety, of contrast, of people being closer, warmer, more intimate with you, allowing yourself to be seen and be heard, allowing yourself to be appreciated in new ways that you've never done that. You're opening your energy to life, opening yourself to life. Maybe this resonates with you and you want to find out more about how to step into your rich, sexy, and free next level heaven on earth life in 2025, then please do reach out. Just head over to richsexyandfree.com and just hit the contact button or DM me via Instagram or Facebook, and we can talk about the mentoring options that are available next year. But otherwise, of course, stay with the podcast. I know that the journey that I've taken this year has been intense, but it's preparing me for 2025 in a whole new level. And it's asking you whether you are going to be stepping in and allowing yourself to turn up the dial for a richer life, a life where you are hotter, more vibrationally magnetic, vibrant, that you're freer and more free-flowing to allow your feminine to flow, but also allowing more joy and passion through your work, through your business, through your money, but also through your whole life. Maybe you want to travel more. Maybe you want the fluidity to work in a better way. And if that is something you're called to, then reach out. But ask yourself, how can I do this for myself first? How can I open myself up? Because you always have inner guidance, but maybe you're holding yourself apart. But just remember, on the inside, we have wonderful, unconscious, hidden glass ceilings that we need life to reflect through us, to show us where we're holding ourselves apart. And when we don't do that, we sometimes need to have help from someone else, which is why mentoring is so amazing, or coaching, to have the reflection that somebody can go, that's what's in the way. Which for me was like the last episode. I highly recommend checking out the last double episode that I did with Krista Weber, all about human design. And in the last episode, of course, there was live coaching. I was reflected back and something was a massive insight for me. It really helped me over the last few weeks to really think about stepping into my next level. So we are always on a journey. No one is perfect. No one is complete. No one is this magical unicorn being. We are always evolving. There is always more. And that is the shift into a rich, sexy, and free life. That is the thing to understand. There is no ending. There is no ending to life, to the energy of creativity of life. There is always more available. There is always more abundance. There is always more expansion. So whatever limitations you're putting on yourself, you are putting them on yourself. It's not the universe. It's not life itself. It is you. And you can set yourself free and have more joy, more fun, more pleasure, more money, more sex, more health, more connections, more friendships, more relationships, more clients, more joy, more freedom, more travel, more cake. Have more cake and enjoy life, because if nothing else, that's what you came here to do. It's been great to connect with you today, but before you leave, if you haven't already, don't forget to come and be part of the community. And if you want to find out more about how I can help you personally, just simply go ahead and visit richsexyandfree.com. And I look forward to seeing you next week on the podcast.